You saw the win against AJ and how good Daniel looked. Did that surprise you?
It did surprise me, and it surprised everyone else because everyone thought that AJ was going to win the fight. There were only a few that were bidding with Daniel.
Daniel Dubois does not believe Joseph Parker will be a tougher fight than Anthony Joshua. In fact, he is so confident in his abilities that he asserts the New Zealander won't pose any significant threat to him.
Do you think this is a tougher fight than AJ?
No.
No?
No.
You don't think so?
The heavyweight division has been on fire in recent months, with Dubois at the center of the action. The 22-year-old British powerhouse is coming off a stunning fifth-round knockout win over Anthony Joshua, a victory that shocked the boxing world and catapulted him into the spotlight. Joshua, who was considered one of the elite names in the division, was expected to easily dispatch Dubois, but instead it was the British champion who outclassed the former unified champion in devastating fashion.
100%, you know, bringing that energy, that speed that a lot of heavyweights don't have. You know, he brings that ferociousness, and that's what I need in my fights. And going back to the old amateur days when I used to, you know, 1, 2, tap, in and out. And that's it.
Is that why he's done it? Because, I mean, typically heavyweights are just big men, and I see Don Charles as a good coach for heavyweights. He knows how to train heavyweights, but did you want to have that speed about you as well?
A bit of turbo in there. So.
A bit of turbo.
Yeah.
Of course, Parker is no stranger to big fights. The former WBO heavyweight champion has rebounded impressively since his knockout loss to Joyce in 2022. Following that defeat, Parker strung together 5 consecutive victories, including notable wins over former world champion Deontay Wilder and China's Zhilei Zhang. These victories have positioned Parker as a legitimate challenger once again, and he will be looking to capitalize on his recent form to secure a second chance at becoming a world champion. His goal is clear: beat Dubois and set himself up for a future showdown with the current unified champion Alexander Usyk.
What do you think about that, Joe?
Yeah, the fighter that I was back in the day when I fought AJ and all those other fighters, Wyatt and Joyce, and I'm a totally different fighter. I'm a lot more mature. And I appreciate the position that I'm in. I love what I do, right? And I'm a happy fighter, very happy fighter. You know, I got the best balance of life and seeing family, training hard, eating well, resting good. And I've been building for this opportunity since the last fight.
Despite Parker's impressive recent run, Dubois remains unconvinced that the New Zealander will provide any serious challenge. His victory over Joshua is proof enough to him that he's ready for anything. While Parker may be brimming with confidence after his string of victories, Dubois believes his opponent's recent successes will not translate into a tougher test when they meet in the ring.
Daniel, are you the new heavyweight king in the UK? Would it be fair to say that?
Yeah, I've seen myself as putting myself through with this win as #1, you know, up there with all the top names, you know, all the old dinosaurs are starting to move on, and I think he's one of them. He's been in many hard fights, and he has got many miles on the
just
clock.
begun.
And I found the formula that works for me, and I've only just begun.
On the flip side, Parker is equally confident about his chances in this fight. The former champion believes that Dubois will crumble if the going gets tough. He's prepared to exploit any sign of weakness in Dubois, especially if the fight doesn't go according to plan. For Parker, it's all about creating doubt in his opponent's mind. If Dubois faces adversity, Parker believes he will look for a way out, unable to handle the pressure of a genuine challenge. It's this psychological edge that Parker thinks will make the difference, especially if the fight goes beyond the early rounds.
And I found the formula that works for me, and I've only just begun. It's crazy to be 33 years old and only loving it and enjoying it way more now.
Yeah.
And I'm a happy fighter.
That's not an old man for a heavyweight anyway.
Really, I'm just coming into my prime.
Yeah.
Parker's confidence is not just rooted in his recent successes, but in his mental strength, which he claims is one of his greatest assets. He recalls the lessons instilled in him by his parents, who emphasized the importance of self-belief and resilience from a young age. For Parker, no matter what challenges arise during the fight, he has always been able to rely on his inner strength and belief in himself. Whether the fight is easy or difficult, Parker is determined to stay the course and follow his game plan to the letter.
Listen, we don't really have a lot to say, the both of us. Probably I say a little bit more than he does, but it's always respectable before the fight. And once you're in the ring, it's a different story. We want to bash each other up and win.
Preparing for the big fight coming up, but things are very good. When you're in camp, you're working hard, you're enjoying every day, making the most of every session. And it's sort of like countdown. The countdown begins, you know, we have just over 4 weeks before the fight. So there's a lot more work to be done, but I'm very much looking forward to it.
Coming to the pros, Peter Fury believes that the upcoming heavyweight bout between Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker is one of those rare matchups that's hard to predict, and it's precisely this unpredictability that makes it so compelling. For Fury, the excitement surrounding the fight is undeniable, with both fighters bringing something special to the table. He acknowledges that the fight has all the ingredients for an action-packed, thrilling contest, and he's certain that it will live up to the hype. Whether you're a boxing fan or just a casual observer, Fury is confident this is one of those high-stakes fights that everyone should be eager to watch.
I think it's a great fight. I think it's one of them, which one do you want to pick? But these are the type of fights we all want to see, so I think it's a good fight. Definitely going to be watching it, and I think it's going to be exciting.
Dillian Whyte is equally aware of how tough this fight will be for both men. He has been closely following Dubois' rise in the heavyweight ranks and gives credit to the young Brit for his unshakable confidence and readiness to face any challenge. Whyte is particularly impressed by Dubois' recent performances, but he also recognizes that Parker, a former world champion, is no slouch. Whyte doesn't believe this fight will be an easy walk for either fighter. In fact, he's adamant that Dubois will be tested like never before, even though he's been on a roll recently.
That's a tough fight, man. It's a tough fight. Credit to Daniel. Daniel's fight. He just said, if you want to go now, we can go. That's it. That's what it's on. He said, if you want to go, we can go. Bring him on. Daniel is doing amazing at the minute, man. Tough fight. It's not having no easy fight. Tough fight.
When it comes to making a prediction, Whyte leans toward Dubois, citing his impressive form in recent bouts. Still, he emphasizes that Parker isn't to be underestimated. The New Zealander is a dangerous opponent with the skills to cause problems for Dubois, particularly with his ring craft and movement. For Whyte, the matchup is exciting because it is so unpredictable, and both fighters have the tools to claim victory.
Boy, I probably lean towards Daniel at the minute because the run has been on. But Parker is dangerous, man.
Martin Bacol has a distinct take on the fight. Bacol's analysis goes against the grain of many other boxing experts who lean toward Dubois as the favorite. He believes that Joseph Parker has the perfect style to overcome Dubois. Bacol recalls the struggles Dubois had when facing a quick and elusive opponent like Alexander Usyk, and he is convinced that Parker will adopt a similar strategy. Known for his movement and agility, Parker can exploit Dubois' difficulty in dealing with such a fighter. Bacol argues that if Parker can execute the same box-on-the-move style used by Usyk, he will be able to wear down Dubois and control the pace of the fight.
That's my opinion. I think Daniel Dubois, it will be in the shit. So Parker will take over and win the fight.
Real 50-50 fight, that interesting fight there.
Jai Opetaia focuses on the pure spectacle it promises to deliver. Both Dubois and Parker, according to Opetaia, are world-class fighters who have earned their places at the top of the division. He believes the fight will be an intense and thrilling affair, though he refrains from making a clear prediction about the outcome. Opetaia sees both fighters bringing something special to the table and is eager to see who will come out on top, but he emphasizes the excitement and anticipation surrounding the fight rather than forecasting a winner.
What do you think that Parker can do to take advantage perhaps maybe of Dubois' overconfidence coming into this fight? What do you think that he could do to mentally prepare so he could take that win?
Well, I don't think he's overconfident, man. All this press conference, all this shit, bro, this is his talk. This is for you guys. You know, they're fighters. They're world champions. You know what I mean? They know what they're doing. Don't let these words fool you. You know, they win world titles for a reason, and Parker's been there too. You know, I feel like this fight we're going to be the best. We're going to see the best version of both of them. So it's exciting.
Justice Hooney also thinks that Parker's skill set makes him a dangerous opponent for Dubois. Hooney points to Parker's superior speed and footwork as key advantages that could give him the edge in this fight. The focus on movement and agility is a common theme in many experts' predictions, and Hooney believes that if Parker can avoid getting bogged down by Dubois' powerful but somewhat straightforward style, he'll be able to execute his game plan effectively. Hooney's prediction is that Parker will have the tools to defeat Dubois, mainly through his technical proficiency and movement.
I think Joseph Parker has what it takes to beat Dubois. He's got the speed, footwork. Just as long as he doesn't, stay in there and get caught up in Dubois' fight. I think he's got what it takes to, get those saddles.
Dave Allen, who initially leaned toward Parker's victory, maintains that Parker's superior boxing ability will ultimately outshine Dubois' raw power. While he respects Dubois' knockout potential, Allen argues that power alone won't be enough to defeat someone as tactically astute as Parker. He points to Parker's ability to manage a fight's pace and stick to a disciplined approach. In the later rounds, when Dubois might struggle to maintain his energy and explosiveness, Allen believes Parker's experience and ability to adjust will prove decisive. He believes that Parker will capitalize on any opportunity to control the tempo and outbox Dubois to victory.
I could see Parker beating him on points, yeah. But Dubois is getting bigger and stronger all the time. Like Dubois is a different kettle of fish now 2 years ago. So, when it only takes one fight to paint a picture. Like, I used to be known as one of the hardest men in British boxing. Yeah? I pull out in the corner against Fraser Clark. I'm a quitter on this and that. You go from one of the hardest men in British boxing to a quitter overnight. But I used to look at Dubois and go, he's got a bit of quitting in him. He's a bit chinny out. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not anymore, is he? Like, he's walked through Hergovich, walked through Miller, walked through Joshua.
Carl Froch takes a similarly measured approach in assessing the fight, acknowledging Dubois' knockout power while favoring Parker's versatility. Froch believes Parker's movement and defense will be crucial in avoiding Dubois' heavy punches. If Parker can establish his game plan early on and stick to it, Froch sees him frustrating Dubois and making it difficult for the Brit to execute his preferred style. Froch also highlights Parker's resilience, suggesting that his ability to absorb pressure and remain composed under fire will make him a tough opponent for Dubois. Froch is confident that Parker's adaptability will allow him to neutralize Dubois' strengths and take control of the fight.
I think a Joseph Parker fight, he's bigger than Parker, naturally bigger. He punches hard on him, but Parker's on a couple of decent wins. Yeah, beat Zhang, he beat Deontay Wilder. They're good wins, in good form. Do you know what I mean? He's looking like he's really getting his second win in his career. So if Dubois can beat Joseph Parker after the wipeout job against AJ, he really has established himself as a bona fide world champion.
Yeah.
So, and it's a fight that will be good, because you never know, because Parker's got all that, he's got bags of experience.
Yeah.
Dave Coldwell, a trainer who works closely with Parker, has been vocal in praising the New Zealander's boxing abilities. He believes that many people are underestimating Parker ahead of the fight, and he's adamant that Parker's technical boxing and vast experience will give him the edge over Dubois. Coldwell points out that Dubois is heavily reliant on his power, and he's convinced that Parker's diverse skill set will allow him to outmaneuver Dubois and negate his knockout potential. Coldwell is confident that Parker's intelligence and technical proficiency will ultimately prove to be the deciding factors in the fight.
Parker Dubois. I fancy Parker is not an underdog in this fight. Everyone makes out as though he's a massive underdog. I'm not saying Dubois can't beat him or isn't going to beat him, but I'm saying I can see so many ways how so many assets that Parker has that can cause Dubois a lot of problems, and if Parker wins, I'm not going to be shocked.
Chris Algieri shares a similar perspective, acknowledging that while Dubois' power is undoubtedly a significant threat, Parker's adaptability and strategic approach could give him the upper hand. Algieri suggests that the fight is likely to go the distance, with Parker using his experience to control the tempo and frustrate Dubois. He believes that if Dubois is unable to land his big punches, Parker's ability to adjust his tactics will become increasingly important. Algieri is confident that Parker's strategic mindset and ring IQ will allow him to edge out Dubois, particularly in the later rounds.
It's a really tough fight for Dubois. Not an easy route for anyone in the heavyweight division, this new version of Joseph Parker. The guy's got a very good chin. He's got a great gas tank, good motor. He knows how to fight punchers. He's coming off of two humongous punchers in Wilder and Zhang. Granted, Wilder didn't fight the fight, doesn't look to himself, but Zhang sure did. Zhang dropped him twice. Parker got up and outboxed him. He's a very, very capable guy in there, even a heavyweight. He's a big guy, too. People forget. Yes, he's a technician. Yes, he's kind of crafty and will outmaneuver you. But he's big enough, durable enough to deal with these super heavyweight guys and a big punch like Dubois. Very, very tough fight. Good matchup.
Chris Lovejoy believes that Parker's superior boxing skills will be the key to his victory. Lovejoy acknowledges that Dubois has a durable chin and knockout power, but he argues that the Brit lacks the technical refinement to deal with a fighter as proficient as Parker. He believes that Parker will be able to outbox Dubois and avoid getting caught by his big punches, particularly in the early rounds. For Lovejoy, it's Parker's boxing ability that will shine through and ultimately secure him the win.
I got Parker. Daniel Dubois, he just can't really get right. He has no real skill. Pretty durable chin. Art is kind of questionable. But I don't think skill-wise he could mess with Parker. I think Parker would be too much for him. I think Parker would be too much for him early in the fight.
Simon Jordan offers a more optimistic outlook for Dubois, predicting that the Brit will stop Parker in the fight. While he recognizes Parker's recent victories, including impressive wins over Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang, Jordan believes that Dubois' raw power and aggressive approach will be too much for Parker to handle. He sees Dubois as the clear favorite, emphasizing that his ability to dominate with physicality and knockout power will give him the edge. Jordan acknowledges Parker's skills, but believes that Dubois' aggressive style will ultimately prevail.
And so you find yourself in a situation when you listen to Joseph Parker that there's not a lot of trash talking that goes on. He can have a go, and he did the other day in the face-off when he had a little bit back and forward with Daniel Dubois with Adi Oladipo on DAZN. But most of the time you get sensible conversation about him. He's very respectful. He's also a very good fighter. I just think that Daniel Dubois is going to be a step too far for him. I don't think it's a formality, but I do think that Daniel will win, and I do think that he'll stop him.
Nick Campbell sees the fight as a clash between two fighters in peak form, with both Dubois and Parker having shown their strengths in recent bouts. He suggests that the outcome of the fight will come down to which fighter can execute their game plan more effectively. Campbell recognizes Parker's experience against top-tier fighters like Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang, but also notes that Dubois' raw power poses a significant threat. He believes that the contrast between Parker's technical skill and Dubois' power will make for a thrilling contest, with the winner being the one who can impose their style on the other.
I think if you need to be honest about it, listen, Joe's a really good friend of mine, but if I want to be impartial and I want to pass comment on things and I want to, I need to be honest about it. It is a 50-50 fight. I think you look at both guys' momentum, like you just said, Dubois has been unbelievable in his last 3 fights, 3 big wins. You look at Joe, his last 2 fights, especially Wilder and Zhang, 2 unbelievable wins, 2 great performances. I think if you look at both fighters, they're both pretty opposing characters, pretty polar opposite really in their personality, the way they go about things, their journey so far.
Paulie Malignaggi raises concerns about Dubois' ability to cope with Parker's technical skill and movement. Malignaggi argues that while Dubois has had success against more aggressive opponents, Parker's defensive abilities and footwork could pose significant challenges. He suggests that if Dubois cannot adjust to Parker's strategy, he will find himself on the back foot, unable to land his signature knockout punches. Malignaggi's analysis focuses on the strategic nature of the fight, where Parker's ability to frustrate and outmaneuver Dubois could make all the difference.
Oh, gee, that's a good question. It's probably, you're looking at a multi-layered fighter when it comes to Parker. I think you're going to have to, Dubois is going to have to show us something that we may not have seen in him. We know he's got this reputation as an explosive, bulky type of fighter who can create highlight reel knockouts, but I think he's going to have to show some of the IQ, if there is any, there, and that's going to expose whether there is any or not. And if he's able to beat Parker because he's going to have to show this IQ in this fight, then we're going to be able to check off another one of the boxes in terms of how we rate Dubois and say, okay, he's even higher and even better level than we've given him credit so far. It's another one of those check marks that you can say, okay.
Amir Khan, who has followed Dubois' career closely, shares Simon Jordan's confidence in the Brit's abilities. Khan points to Dubois' dominant performances, including his knockout of Filip Hrgovic, as evidence of a fighter who is maturing both in skill and confidence. He believes that Dubois' knockout power, combined with his newfound confidence, will be enough to overcome Parker. While Khan acknowledges that Parker is a skilled and dangerous opponent, he believes that Dubois' aggressive style and physical strength will ultimately prevail.
I like Dubois, man. Dubois a beast. Honestly, I said that from when he fought against Hrgovic. I said that, yo, who is this kid, man? I go, this kid's good. And I remember watching that live, and I like the way he fought and how he puts his punches together and how strong he is, and the way he took those fighters apart. Obviously, he's coming off a great win against Anthony Joshua. He's gonna have more confidence. So yeah, I think I got
Dubois going in that fight winning.
Joe Joyce, who has faced both Dubois and Parker in the ring, brings a unique perspective to the analysis. Joyce believes that the early rounds will be critical in determining the winner of the fight. Whoever can land the first significant punch and establish control early will gain a tactical advantage, he suggests. Joyce emphasizes that Parker's ability to manage the pace of the fight and avoid getting caught up in Dubois' aggressive style will be key to his success. Drawing from his own experience in the ring with Dubois, Joyce argues that Parker's movement and technical skill will frustrate the Brit and limit his chances of landing a knockout punch.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. Like, obviously Dubois hits hard. He's come from like more, I don't know, he stepped up. But then also Parker as well. Like they've both come along and they've both like been in big fights. So yeah, I'm really excited to see who gets the win.
Yeah, they've both been on really good form recently. The past year or two.
Both got different attributes, but see, may the best man win.
Tony Bellew offers a balanced perspective, recognizing both Dubois' knockout power and Parker's punching ability. Bellew points out that Parker's strength, often underrated, could play a significant role in the fight. He even suggests that Parker may hit harder than Alexander Usyk, the current heavyweight champion, while Bellew acknowledges the challenges Parker will face against Dubois, particularly with the Brit's youthful energy and knockout potential. He sees the fight as a complex one, with both fighters possessing strengths that could swing the result either way.
Joseph Parker, Daniel Dubois aside, is the most informed heavyweight in the world.
Yeah, both of them in great form, to be fair, yeah.
If anything, I think actually Joseph Parker is in better form than Daniel Dubois, because that spree of fights of Deontay Wilder, Zhilei Zhang.
Yeah, great.
Let's just look at it for what it is.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous because Zhilei Zhang was undefeated, in my opinion, until he faced Joseph Parker.
He's becoming a bit of a giant killer, Joseph Parker, really, isn't he?
He really has. And I've got to give
Daniel Dubois next on the list for him? Yeah.
It's a potential.
Yeah.
Zhilei Zhang, initially favoring Dubois to retain his title, has revised his opinion and now views the fight as a genuine 50-50 matchup. Zhang recognizes that Dubois' knockout power is a serious threat, but also understands that Parker's adaptability and experience could be decisive. His shift in perspective highlights the unpredictable nature of the fight, with both fighters having the attributes to turn the tide in their favor.
Oh, it's a hard predict because I think this is a truly 50-50 fight, and I like both of these fighters. I think if I have to say something, I'll tell Dubois to come down and don't be overlooking Joseph Parker.
Adam Smith, a close associate of Parker's camp, is confident that the New Zealander is in peak physical condition and ready to face Dubois. While he respects Dubois' recent momentum, Smith believes that Parker's experience and mental readiness will be the key to his success. He argues that Parker's ability to stay composed under pressure and perform in big moments will give him the advantage over Dubois, who is still developing as a top-tier heavyweight.
Yeah, second one. No soft touch here. Joseph Parker's in the form of his life. Andy Lee has been amazing for him. I spoke to Joe on my podcast a couple of days ago, and he is just absolutely bang up for this. He's put a bit of muscle on. He's got George Lockhart with him. He's got Andy Lee. He's got a great team. Obviously, one of the nicest people in boxing. Daniel Dubois has got the momentum and the confidence now. It's fantastic being around him. He came back from a holiday in Brazil, super sharp. I saw him on the pads, maybe in his first or second training session back, and he looked incredible.
So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.